1. A routine patrol. My name is Elias Korr, a human scout working for the Interstellar Exploration Agency, known as the Stellar Horizons Division. My job was simple: patrol uncharted planetary systems, record anomalies, and report any unusual signals or life forms. Simple in theory, far less predictable in practice. On one mission to survey a cluster of minor planets near the Aurelia Rift, my sensors picked up an anomalous heat signature. At first, I assumed it was a malfunctioning satellite or an abandoned probe. But as I zoomed in on the readings, I realized the signal was organic and alive. The readings came from a small, seemingly uninhabited island on a planet covered mostly by oceans. Its size was negligible, just a few kilometers across, but something on it emitted a consistent life signal. Curiosity piqued. I adjusted my ship's course. 2. The island discovery. The island was even smaller than I expected, a patch of dense forest rising from sapphire waters. No signs of civilization, no roads, nothing to indicate previous human or alien habitation. Yet the life signal persisted. I landed my shuttle on a rocky shore, scanning for the source. Through the thick foliage, I saw her. She was unlike any species I'd encountered, tall and slender, with a faintly luminescent, silver-blue skin that reflected the sunlight like liquid metal. Her hair floated weightlessly around her head, as if defying gravity, and her eyes glowed a soft violet. Most striking were her wings, gossamer, semi-transparent, yet damaged, hanging limply from her back. She was sitting on a boulder, clearly injured and weak. Her gaze lifted toward me cautiously, but there was no hostility, only fear and exhaustion. "I come in peace," I said, raising my hand slowly. Her voice, when it came, was melodic but tinged with confusion. "Why are you here?" "I saw your signal," I replied. "You're not alone anymore. I'll help you." 3. Earning trust. She didn't move immediately. Her wings twitched involuntarily, as if trying to rise but failing. I could see the fractures along the delicate membranes. Approaching slowly, I knelt beside her. "I won't hurt you," I said. "Let me see your wings. I can fix them." Her eyes widened in disbelief. "You can?" "I don't know yet," I admitted honestly, "but I'll try." It took hours to gain her trust. She allowed me to examine her injuries, wincing as I assessed the damaged tissues and broken wing bones. Clearly, she had been stranded for some time, days, maybe weeks, with no food or water. "I'm Elias," I said finally. "What's your name?" "Lyshara," she whispered. "I don't know why I'm here." I nodded. "We'll figure it out. First, let's get you stabilized." 4. Improvised medical aid. The island was remote, and my equipment was basic, designed for human emergencies, not alien anatomy. I improvised. Using my shuttle's medical scanner, I mapped the fractures and created temporary splints from composite alloys in my toolkit. Lyshara watched closely, the tension in her body gradually easing as she realized I wasn't causing pain unnecessarily. Using nutrient gels from my supplies, I helped her regain energy, slowly reviving her from near dehydration and exhaustion. "I thought I would die here," she admitted quietly, voice barely audible. "No one comes." "You're wrong," I said softly. "I came." The first smile I saw from her that day was faint, but it was real, a glimmer of hope shining through exhaustion. 5. Repairing her wings. The next challenge was her wings. They were delicate yet resilient, with bioengineered musculature that allowed flight. But the fractures and tears required careful reconstruction. I built a stabilization frame using alloy rods from my shuttle and reinforced the torn wing membranes with nanofiber patches. The process was slow, meticulous, and physically demanding. Lyshara alternated between pain frustration, and quiet observation. Almost there, I said, tightening a support frame. We'll get you flying again. Her eyes softened. You are patient, not like others. Others? I asked. On other worlds, beings like me hunted. They don't help. I swallowed, realizing the depth of her isolation. Then we'll change that, starting here. 6. Learning to communicate. As she recovered, Lyshara taught me fragments of her language. Her words were musical, punctuated by tonal shifts that carried meaning beyond simple translation. Using gesture and sound, we created a simple method to communicate more effectively. I learned she was a Valerian, a nomadic species of winged explorers who often traveled between planets and star clusters. Her crash wasn't accidental. She had been attacked by raiders during an exploration mission, leaving her stranded on this tiny, forgotten island. I was alone, she said, voice breaking. No one came. I waited and waited. You don't have to wait anymore, I replied, offering a reassuring hand. She hesitated, then placed hers in mine, a small gesture, but one that bridged species, fear, and distance. 7. Preparing for flight. Once her wings healed enough, we moved to a cliff edge overlooking the ocean. I explained the basics of flight recovery and encouraged her to trust herself and me. Her first attempts were shaky. The air currents caught her wings unpredictably, sending her spinning in small arcs. I guided her from my shuttle, offering advice and encouragement. You can do this, Lyshara. Feel the wind, not just the wings. Gradually, she mastered hovering, then gliding. Each success brought a joyful exclamation, and with every pass, her confidence grew. I realized I was experiencing a rare privilege, witnessing the rebirth of a being into her own natural element. 8. Emotional bond. During training sessions, we shared stories of our worlds. I spoke of human colonies, distant planets, and the thrill of exploration. Lyshara told me about the Valerian skies, their nomadic culture, and the family she had lost during the raid. Over time, our bond deepened beyond mere gratitude. Small gestures, sharing meals, quiet conversations at sunset, gentle touches during flight exercises created a connection neither of us fully expected. You are different from others, she admitted one evening. You care. I do, I replied simply. And I'm glad I found you. Her wings brushed mine in a subtle sign of trust, and I realized this connection was no longer about rescue. It was mutual reliance, respect, and something approaching affection. 9. Departure from the island. After weeks of recovery and training, Lyshara was ready for long-distance flight. I prepared my shuttle for a joint departure, offering to escort her to the nearest Valerian safe zone, far beyond human space. As we lifted off the island together, the expanse of ocean and forest shrinking below us, she soared effortlessly beside my shuttle, her wings fully restored. The sight was breathtaking, a blend of alien beauty and pure freedom. You gave me wings again, she said, voice filled with awe and gratitude. More than that, you gave me hope. And you've taught me something too, I said. That connection, trust, and courage can exist even across the stars. She looked at me, a soft smile on her lips. Then, we are both lucky. 10. New horizons. Together, we ventured beyond the Aurelia Rift, Lyshara gliding gracefully alongside my shuttle. Our journey had only begun. Unexplored planets, hidden dangers, and cosmic wonders awaited us. I knew there would be challenges, both from the universe and from beings who might not welcome a human and a Valerian flying side by side. But as I glanced at her radiant figure against the stars, I felt certain. This partnership, born from rescue and trust, would endure. For Lyshara, I had repaired her wings. For me, she had opened a new world, a universe full of hope, adventure, and something neither of us could have predicted: companionship, connection, and a bond that could soar across galaxies. The tiny, forgotten island was now a memory, replaced by an infinite horizon of possibilities. And as we flew together, I realized that sometimes the smallest worlds could lead to the biggest journeys of all.